Hello there and welcome to the video. So today we are talking about YouTube as a photographer. Kind of my experience from running this, rather small YouTube channel for a few years now. As well as some of my general thoughts about the photography niche here on YouTube. Starting off, as I see it, there's four main categories of YouTube photographers. You have the educators, the gear reviewers, the philosophers and the photographers. The first category, they make the how-to, those topical videos. The second one, they review gear. The third one, they kind of discuss the philosophy behind photography, the why of photography, or perhaps photography as an art subject. And the final category, they are the ones that like to share their own work here on YouTube. You can then of course mix between these different categories. You don't have to solely focus in on one of them. And if I look at my own channel, I kind of fall into that last category. I do focus in on sharing my own work here on YouTube, but I have done the odd gear review and topical video. And if I look at the stats for my channel, the best performing videos has been those gear-centric or topical videos. And that kind of makes sense. They are very searchable and they do have a very long lifespan, as a search term doesn't really get obsolete. So in a sense they are kind of the evergreen videos. They are also a bit easier to make than for instance an on-location video, as they contain information the viewer either want or need. For instance, I quite recently looked into buying a new filter kit. I looked towards the Haida M10 kit. There's two versions of that though, and I was trying to figure out if the new one was worth the premium in price over the old one. So I googled it, read a few articles and watched a few YouTube videos. And I clicked on those videos because they contained information I wanted, and I continued watching those videos even though they might not have been the best in the world, because they contained that information I needed. So in that sense they are a bit easier to make because they contain that information the viewer is interested in, which helps with search and then also retention of that viewer. And compare that to, for instance, an on-location video. That will be more of pure entertainment for the viewer. And therefore it won't be as searchable and it will be harder to maintain that viewer's interest. So it kind of makes sense for you to focus in on making those kind of videos if you are running your channel as a business or want to grow it as quickly as possible. And still, if you look at my channel, it contains quite a few on-location videos. Typically me doing landscape photography with a film camera. You might then ask why. Why don't I make more of those gear-centric or topical videos if they are the ones that perform? And well, I started this channel because I wanted to share my photography. And I make the videos that I'm interested in making and that I like to watch myself. It can then be quite disheartening when those on-location videos don't really perform as well as I might think they deserve. And to help to manage those expectations, it has been important for me to keep the right mindset. I view my videos the same way I view my photography. I don't really do that for an audience. Don't get me wrong, I do appreciate some acknowledgement and a nice comment. But I don't cater to an audience. Instead, I explore subjects and topics that I'm interested in, and doing that the best I can. And by doing so, hopefully someone else will also find it interesting. The follow-up question then becomes, would I still do YouTube if I didn't get any views at all? And I probably wouldn't. Because I did start this channel to share my photography. And if no one was watching, I'm not really sharing it. I would then probably just do only photography and find another outlet to share it. But luckily I do get a few views. And more importantly, I got more real engagement and more real connections on this platform than any other. So YouTube has been quite a pleasant experience for me. And if you are thinking about starting your own channel, I do highly recommend it. And I have a few pieces of advice for you, or perhaps what worked for me. First, the easy part is to start the channel. The hard part is to maintain it and keep uploading even though you might not get the views and you might be quite bad at video making, as I was. And to keep uploading, the most important part for me was to be honest with myself I'm not kidding myself, I'm not going to turn this into a career or make any money out of YouTube anytime soon. Instead, my motivation comes from within, as we discussed. I make videos because I want to make videos and share them with the world. You might feel different, you might want to make a career out of YouTube, and by all means try it. But it is hard, and it will take a lot of work and a bit of luck. Another very important aspect of YouTube that is kind of related concerns sustainability. A very common advice you see when you're researching starting your own channel is that you should upload as often as possible and on a schedule to maximize your reach and views. And that's probably true. And I did try that when I started out or when I got serious with YouTube. I figured the maximum I can manage is a bi-weekly upload schedule, considering I do have a full-time job as well. And I did manage that. For almost a year I uploaded every other week. But it kind of took away some of the fun of video making for me. And perhaps more importantly, I didn't really improve my video quality. I was always chasing the next video and not really thinking about what I could improve from the last one. So, after about a year, I took a step back and I quit YouTube for a few months. And when I returned, I said to myself, this time around, try monthly uploads and don't sweat it if you miss an upload every now and again. Simply put, I started to focus in on quality over quantity. And that helped my video quality a lot. I got better at stuff like video editing, color grading, storytelling, how to structure a video, etc. Each could be discussed at length and are important. But there were two things I realized I needed to improve the most. And the first thing was to become a better presenter in front of the camera. Something that required quite a lot of hard work for me, more than I might have anticipated, as I do consider myself a decent public speaker. And to become a better presenter in front of that camera, the first thing I did was to start speaking up, raising my voice slightly. That helps with sounding a bit more confident in front of the camera, and also helps with sound recording. And it kind of forces me to articulate a bit better, especially important considering English is my second language. I also realized I needed to cut out all those filling words, you know, those etc. I don't think you have to cut them out completely, as they kind of make us sound human, but they can be very annoying on video. So I practiced to just pause instead. And I also started to accept that I am going to do mistakes, especially considering English is my second language. And it is okay if that shows. I might use the wrong preposition, lose the odd word ending, and I might sound a bit funny every now and again. But that's okay as long as you can understand me. So those are the things that helped me to become a better presenter in front of the camera. I still need to work on it, and I do seek to improve even more in the future, but I do think I'm on the right path. If we instead look a bit more on the technical side of video making, there were two things I realized I needed to work the most on. The first, well, that was sound. Sound is so vastly more important than picture quality. It can kill a video. Something I kind of already knew, but I fell into that trap as a photographer, to care a bit too much about the aesthetics and not enough about the sound quality of my videos. And sound is so much more than just a decent recording. It's also a lot down to the mixing and what sound effects and music you use. It's a whole own science. So by focusing in on that over picture quality, I saw a substantial rise in my video quality. And the other factor that I realized was the most important was how to cut a video. That kind of dictates the flow and the rhythm of a video and makes it pleasant to view. And those three things are the ones that I think helped me the most to improve my video quality. Before we end the video, I would like to also shortly mention a bit about the gear I use. We're not going to go into details about it, that might be a future video, but gear matters when it comes to video creating. I'm not saying you have to go out and buy the latest and greatest, you can do a lot with little. But there are a few pieces of equipment that I found really helpful and made our life a lot easier as a YouTuber. The first, that's a camera with a decent battery life, because at least I need to do a few retakes to get it right in front of the camera. And changing battery gets old fast. The second thing, that is some decent sound recording equipment. I use a lav mic with a field recorder that I have on now. I use that on location as well. And I also have a USB mic for talkovers. Those have been key for me to get the sound right. And we already discussed how important that is. And those are the pieces of equipment that I found the most useful. As always, your mileage might vary. And only buy the equipment you can afford. Remember, you can do a lot with little. And there's plenty more you could say about being a YouTube photographer and about video making. But I think we are going to leave it at that for now. My own future plans for this channel? Well, I'm still going to continue sharing my own photography work here. That's still the purpose for this channel. But in the future I might do more of these topical videos, as I do find them quite interesting to make, as they kind of forces me to think a bit deeper about a subject. I also have a goal of uploading a bit more frequently this year. I'm not going to commit to a bi-weekly or weekly schedule. Instead, I have a goal of making 20 videos this year, kind of to force myself to go out and do photography and to make videos. With that said, thank you so much for watching. See you next time, take care and bye!